Hey guys, welcome to the show. I hope you had a great Christmas break and a Happy New Year. Today on the show we're going to be talking about one of the vacations I took in the early 2000s. It was 2006 actually, and I went to San Francisco, and I've done a couple of videos on this trip before, but I'm going through kind of an archiving process here at my studio where I'm taking pieces from my collection, archiving them in order, and making sure all the autographs and things like that have provenance. And I'm using the channel as a bit of a way to catalog that, if you will, as I'm going through stuff. So it is kind of a process, and I hope you enjoy some of this as I do this. But there's going to be a focus today on a trip I took in 2006 to San Francisco, and to some of the musical locations that I stopped at during that trip, including Filmore West, the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood, Amoeba Records, Golden Gate Park, record shopping with Taylor Hawkins, and a few other cool music pieces that I was able to bring back during that time. So this is the first time I consciously remember going on a vacation and intentionally seeking out music stops. I think before that, if I saw them, I saw them, but it wasn't something that I really tried to find. And on this trip, it's the first time I remember actually doing that. So that's maybe the start of when I became kind of a serious music collector. So roughly 20 years ago. And it's a kind of a good memory for me, and it's a way for me to archive some of this for down the road. So I hope you enjoy some of these pictures and images, and some of the collection that I was able to obtain while I was there, some pieces from my collection, I should say. That I was able to obtain when I was down there. So I hope you enjoy that. If you're new to the channel, this channel is about music. It's rock and roll memorabilia, records, guitars, and the history of rock and roll. And this is the first year of the channel. We're at our 1-year anniversary actually about today, and we're pushing for 1,000 subscribers. So if you are new and you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. And for all those returning, really appreciate all of your support and continued watching and comments and things like that. So thanks very much. Keep rocking, and let's get into it. And the first stop we made when arriving was that night we went to the Filmore West. And Filmore West is one of those venues that's very, very well-known and famous spot in San Francisco. It's not the exact same one as the late 60s, but it's been done up the same way. And we were there to see Johnny Lang, who's a great live performer, great blues player. And that one was a fabulous show, although I was a little bit jet-lagged and a little bit sleepy actually towards the end. I was having a hard time kind of keeping focused. But the venue itself is pretty cool. It's not a huge space, but at the back there's a bar. It's standing room only. You're kind of head level to the bottom of the stage, so it's an elevated stage, and you can see really well. And the upstairs is sort of a restaurant bar area, and we actually ate there, and it was fabulous. All the original posters are framed up around the walls, and it's got a really cool atmosphere. So it was a great spot to start our trip off, and to hit a legendary location. This was a bit of a bucket list place for me just to see, and it's such a famous club, and that is an area I wanted to explore and check out for sure. So Filmore West and Johnny Lang was the first stop on the trip. Well, one of the favorite pieces in my collection for sure is this Filmore West poster of Canned Heat and Gordon Lightfoot, and I love the artwork on it. It's just an amazing piece. I've had this for a long time, and I just really think it's a phenomenal poster. And down here it has the ticket information, but sorry about the glare. It is what all these original Filmore West posters look like, and I just think they had amazing graphic design and all hand done. Really amazing artwork. So that one is from the Filmore West, an original poster from '68, and one of my favorites in the collection here. Well, the next spot we stopped was the neighborhood of Haight-Ashbury, and it's still pretty cool. Now, of course, this is the the headquarters, the home base of the counterculture of the 1960s, the hippie movement. And it's an intersection there of two streets, Haight and Ashbury Street, and the neighborhood is kind of built around that. And it's still got some of that flair, although albeit a little done up now compared to what it was at that time. But there's still a Goodwill. There's still the head shops and kind of funky things on the street. Still very much got that flair and vibe, but a little touristy now and sort of done up to present what it once was. The houses of the Grateful Dead and Janis Joplin are still here, and you can go and at least see those. It was pretty interesting to walk through and to have a look at some of the crazy things that are going on, and there's still a little bit of that hippie vibe present there, even then if it's a bit done up now for tourists and sort of exaggerated, but you get the idea. And it was still kind of different and funky and worth checking out. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're a big fan of rock and roll and you like records, guitars, and stories about rock and roll, be sure to give us a like and subscribe and ring that bell. It helps us to grow the channel and keep more stuff coming. Thanks a lot. Well, moving along, we stopped at Amoeba Records, and Amoeba is a chain that's also located in Los Angeles, and I don't know about anywhere else, but I know Los Angeles and San Francisco for sure. And it is a huge record store, and at that time it was mostly CDs. The record revival hadn't quite hit yet, but it had everything, and it was a large selection of material and box sets and just things I hadn't seen much of before. So it was pretty cool to shop around there. Didn't spend a lot of time there. We were kind of pressed for time, but the one thing I did buy was a really unique Filmore poster, so I'll show you that. So this is a poster I picked up at Amoeba Records in San Francisco. It's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and they did a huge run at the Filmore in 1999, and this is one of the original posters from that show. And I picked this up at Amoeba Records, and later on was lucky enough to meet Tom and have not only Tom Petty but Mike Campbell and Steve Ferrone all sign this poster prior to a Heartbreakers show in Toronto. About 10 years after that, maybe around 2008 or 10, something like that. But I bought the poster and had it for years, and in fact, when I showed Tom this poster, he was really impressed that I had it because, this is before a lot of internet sales and things like that, and there weren't a lot of these printed, so it was a pretty cool poster, and he was quite happy to sign that for me. The next place we're going to look down at is the pier area, and the first thing when you approach the pier you hear is all of the sea lions barking away, and it's kind of a cool sound, and there's tons of them. They must feed them or something to keep them around, but it's pretty interesting to see that. You don't expect it if you're not aware that they're going to be there. And down there is a Hard Rock Cafe, and I was actually pretty impressed with the collection in this Hard Rock Cafe. We had guitars from Nirvana signed, a couple of really cool Beatle guitars, which I thought were pretty interesting, and it was just a cool collection to view and a good spot to stop for a few minutes. So that was the next place. And the last little story I'll mention about this trip was I was downtown San Francisco and shopping in a record store and just flipping through some CDs, actually. And right next to me was Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters, and kind of struck up a conversation with him. We were talking about a lot of 70s rock bands. That's what we were both looking at the same time. And at that point, the Foo Fighters were big, but not like they are now, and it was kind of a great opportunity to have a conversation with him and just talk music, and he would have spent all day talking music. He was really kind of just enjoying a day off, I think, and it was great just to have that moment with him. So pretty lucky opportunity for me. And right when I was leaving the store, there was another sort of young kid in the store looking at stuff, and I just asked him to take a picture of us, and as he was taking the picture, I think he realized who Taylor was and got a little nervous, and his hand started to kind of shake like that with my camera, so he almost cut our heads off. So I'm glad that I at least got a photo Of course, this is back in 2006. I don't have a cell phone to do it myself at this point, and I just had a camera with me because I was on vacation, luckily. So it was kind of cool to get that opportunity and to actually have a conversation with him and to see what he was like as a person. So that was kind of cool. So that's the last story I'll share. I hope you really enjoyed this look at some of the musical locations I visited while I was in San Francisco. I've got a whole series of videos like this lined up for different parts of the world that I've been with music stuff like this. So hopefully you like that. If you like rock and roll history and stories about music and records and CDs and guitars, then that's what we do on this channel. And give us a like and subscribe. We're pushing for 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. This is about my 1-year anniversary on the channel, so we're just getting started, and I hope you've enjoyed it so far, and thanks very much for the support so far. And we'll be back next week with another video.